Welcome back to another episode of The Canon. Today we'll be covering some Rogue One news, Batman v Superman coming back for round 2, and Brie Larson might be in the Marvel Universe. Stick around. Alright, so for the first news, Rogue One, a Star Wars story. I forgot they changed that. So Rogue One, a Star Wars story, has had some rumors spreading around that Disney does not like what they saw, and that a lot of reshoots are being ordered, and they're very expensive and all that. We've heard this so many times, but in this case, there's also reports that the movie is in crisis. It's a disaster. It's been changed around. Sal, what do you think?
I don't think it's quite that level where it's a crisis. I think, well, we were talking and we were saying, all movies kind of reshoot, and this is just a big movie, so it's obviously going to have reports and rumors circulating around it. So most of the reshoots, I think, most of the reshoots are just adding more to scenes that are already shot. So it's not like they're adding new scenes or anything, not that I've heard of. And mostly it's because of the tone of the movie. This movie is it's prequel, obviously, and it's going to bring everything before A New Hope up until like a few minutes before New Hope starts. So that's confirmed. So they want this movie and A New Hope to kind of be consistent in tone, which I didn't see at all from the trailer. I don't know how that's going to work out. It looked like more of an Empire kind of tone to it. So I guess this is what they're doing. They're trying to add more to make the tone match up with A New Hope, which I can agree with, and I also don't agree with because it's 2016. It's a different time, and it's a different story. I mean, I don't know how much. I guess the story can still be connected, and it is connected. But yeah, so I don't think it's necessary to match up that tone that much.
I agree with that part. I don't think it's necessary, but we'll disagree with you that I think it is a problem. I think it's a big problem for a few reasons. First, a lot of we heard the whole Suicide Squad rumors and stuff, and they did their reshoots and all that, and it always happens. But in this particular case, a lot of credible sources were reporting not that it's so much a crisis, but that the Disney executives didn't like the movie, and that they didn't like it. It didn't come out the way they wanted, and all the reports were basically like you were saying. The tone is darker than they want Star Wars to be. It doesn't feel like a classic Star Wars movie. So a lot of reports about more Vaders being added in the reshoots, and also that scenes to bring levity. So similar to the Suicide Squad, where they were saying they're going to add scenes to make it less dark. That seems like what's going on with Rogue One. Reason I buy this is because the director Gareth Edwards, he did Godzilla before this movie, and so those were his two big projects. Before that, he was small time. He actually dropped out of Godzilla 2 not too long ago, like last month or so. And one of the reports was that he's done with big picture movies
After Rogue One.
Yeah, and he kind of came out himself and was like, yeah, after doing this one, I'm done with the big budget movies. And so while I talked a while back about Disney and Marvel and how they're able to be more professional with it as far as their conflicts, and this wasn't like a Josh Trank blow up situation, but that that's out of character for Disney, for a director, not only to be done with your franchise, but be done with other franchises. Just he's like, I'm going back to independent film. And so there's clearly a disconnect between studio and director there,
Which pushed him over the edge.
Which means the reshoots are happening, which means they're probably taking over, to make it. And it's Marvel. It's not Marvel. It's Disney and Lucasfilm. And Disney does not play. They want it the way they want it. And if you don't do that, you're going to have to go. Yeah. So I think Rogue One is in more trouble than people think. I think he'll still come out on time because like they put time in the schedule for reshoots in case this stuff happens. So I think it'll come out on time, but right now I think it's in trouble. But I agree with you, it'll be sad because now I'm gonna have to watch the whole movie thinking what could have been or what was added or I would have liked a dark movie. He said it was gonna be a movie about war and it looked like it. I was fine with that, but that's not what sells tickets.
Yeah, we'll hear by August. I think they wanted to get it done by August, and then September they want to do the music. So if it's not done by August, then maybe a bigger red light is needed.
Yeah, if this gets moved back, I just don't see come hell or high water, Disney gets their schedule. Like that happened with Ant-Man where I forgot the first director, but he left, and everybody's like, yeah, they got to push this back. No, they got Peyton Reed in there. And they push that bad boy through. They do not play with their schedule because it's already set up. So.
Yeah.
All right. So, Batman vs. Superman. Even before the movie came out, we heard about this director's cut. 30 extra minutes. Zack Snyder style. And now it's finally came out, or coming out, the Blu-ray, the DVD release with the Ultimate Edition, which has the director's cut and I don't know what else, probably a bunch of behind the scenes stuff. We saw a trailer for it, which is interesting because I don't remember ever seeing a trailer for a director's cut.
I think this is needed because it was in critical condition, this movie.
So, yes, this is round 2. This is the cleanup. This is, hey, wait, we got one last try at this.
Yeah.
What do you think about the trailer?
Well, the report from the cinematographer who's not working on Justice League, I forgot his name, but he tweeted out that if you liked the movie before, you'll still like this. If you didn't like it before, you still won't like it. So I don't know how much.
What a trailer.
Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know how much it's gonna move me or anyone else for that matter. But yeah, the trailer was really cool. There was a lot in the trailer, more than I thought they were gonna give us, and it was long. It was like almost a minute and a half commercial, I think, or something, or trailer. So yeah, but what seems in the trailer is that there is a lot more development of the conflict between Superman and Batman. You see a lot of, I saw a lot of Clark Kent, I think, doing reporting and getting testimonies from like regular citizens, and they were talking, I think the citizens were talking about Batman and how he shouldn't be doing what he's doing and stuff like that. So I think it's gonna set up that conflict between them just a little bit more, and without doing any extra fighting, obviously. So that was one thing, and then another thing I saw, which I really appreciated, was the Middle East firefight. It seemed like they had more scenes to that, which kind of explains that a little bit more. That was one thing I was definitely confused on why they kind of blamed Superman for the deaths of all those people in the village. So maybe we'll get a little bit more insight on how those people died. It looked like someone had like a fire.
That would be KG Beast.
Was the KG Beast? Okay, so it looked like they were kind of going in hard on the villagers there. So that is one thing also. And then Barbara Gordon is in this, so that's gonna be interesting. I think she was talking to Lois Lane.
Yeah, so I didn't know that was her until someone said it. Like I just like, oh, okay, another person. It was a bunch of new people we didn't see. I didn't even recognize her as Jenna Malone at all. But after seeing that, I'm wondering, is she Barbara Gordon? Because why would she be talking to Lois Lane?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. It's weird.
Yes.
But it's confirmed that she is, isn't it?
We thought it was, but
You just don't think it looks like her. It looks like she should be.
I mean, you could change it so, maybe it wasn't in the movie.
Maybe
so.
She's an intern at the Daily Planet or something.
And also, so in the same reports about her being Barbara Gordon, it was also talking about she's in the nightmare scene, which she still could be.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I never heard anything about her being with Lois Lane, so I'm like, maybe the reports were wrong. I don't know. But, yeah, so I agree. Well, I think it depends on what about the movie you disliked, whether you would like this more or not. Because if you're like, man, it's not Marvel, it's not, it's too dark and gritty, well, of course you're not going to like it because it's rated R now, which means it's just more gritty and more violent. So, but if you have issues like, I like the tone and all that, I just don't think the plot synced up, enough for me, I think you'll like this because, like you said, you get a lot more background. From what we saw, it just seemed like they cut out all the Superman stuff. Like, it's all Superman. I'm just like, man. And we knew it was going to be a big spotlight on Batman because he's new to this DCU. But I thought Zach would do a better job of the balancing act. But we know the final product, Superman's not in it that much.
Yeah.
But with this extra footage, like you said, we see Clark. We see him even as Superman talking to a citizen. She was like, he only responds to punches or something like that.
Yeah.
And so
you can't talk to that kind of person.
Yeah, and so we see him like having a hate towards Batman. It's building up, which will pay off when we see Lex send him those pictures and stuff like that. And then the big part is the what was it? Africa? They were in Africa.
I thought it was Middle East. I didn't want to refer to it as the wrong thing.
Yeah, I think it was Africa.
Okay.
And yeah, so like I said, when we did the review and everything, for those people that weren't willing to expand their imagination, not saying you can't, but if you weren't willing to, then yes, it seemed kind of like what's going on. But even like I said, because when you were asking me about it, I was like, well, Lex paid off the people to say Superman did it. I didn't see that in the movie. I didn't see the extra cut. I just like, it's, to me, I'm like, okay, I'll expand what I think it is. But some people weren't willing to do that. And so this cut will give it to you. They're like, okay, this is all that happened in Africa. And that's a big point in the movie.
Yeah, because it sets up a lot of confrontation.
And why the world is at odds with Superman. So it's just, I understand the business side. You had to cut out the movie because it couldn't be 3 hours in theaters. Money-wise, it's just not. It's not enough screens and, less showings and all that. But it's just like you really sacrifice a chunk of the movie in the plot, I think, by cutting a lot of that stuff out. But I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Drew, are you getting DVD or Blu-ray? I don't know why they're coming out with 2 different dates. They're pretty far apart.
I'm confused because it looks like the 28th is just digital copy and physical copies in July.
Oh, I thought it was DVD on the 28th.
No.
Damn it. So
I think I might get the digital.
I mean, if I can get it on PS4, why not? But you also want that physical thing to have too. But
yeah, but it's like waiting all the way to July.
Yeah, that's pretty far.
Yeah.
That's pretty far.
Brie Larson is rumored to be Miss Marvel. I refuse to call her by the other name. So a long time, Emily Blunt was rumored to be playing Miss Marvel, and there was like no real truth to that we know of. People just like, we like Emily Blunt, so she's Miss Marvel. But now it seems like Brie Larson is the favorite, and this has been a while coming. They've announced the slate a while ago, but they had time because her movie's been pushed back. But yeah, so Brie Larson, who just won an Oscar for her role in Room. Amazing movie, yes. And so she is up for the part. She does not have it. Everybody's Brie Larson is Miss Marvel. Like, we don't know that yet. So, Sal, but what would you think about it if she was?
Well, I thought it was funny because she found out in an interview, I think, when the interviewer brought up that fans wanted her to do it or some whatever. I don't know how long this interview was. It could have been recent. And Brie was like very surprised, and she's like, I thought Captain Marvel was a man. So she, like, for like the next 30 seconds, she thought she was gonna be playing a man. And then she thought Chris Evans was Captain Marvel, and so that's just a little funny story behind that. But yeah, I think she's gonna be in Infinity War 1.
Miss Marvel.
Yeah, yes. Miss Marvel. So wait, are they going with Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel? I forgot.
The good folks at Disney will probably call her Captain Marvel.
Okay.
But I don't care. That's not her name.
Yeah. Well, anyways, yeah, I think it's a great ad because you really don't have that strong superhero woman character. You have Black Widow, but she's not a superhero in a way. And even so, she's not at the forefront of the team, which I think Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel can do in a good way. And Brie Larson, in terms of her, I I guess. I don't know. I don't really have any. I'm not kind of indifferent about who plays her. But I did like her a lot in Room and in Trainwreck. She was good too in her part there. So yeah, I like the rumor.
She was in Trainwreck?
She was sister of Amy Schumer.
Oh yeah, was that her?
Yeah.
She looked ugly in her. Anyway, man, we need to bring Keep a Sweep back. I sweep this, man. Like no, so Brie Larson, great actress. Like I said, Room deserved that Oscar up and down. Loved it. I just don't see her fitting what Miss Marvel is. Like, I think she has range, of course, but I think she's better suited for the damage, the emotional parts, the frustration, all that. Not really the strong, stern type, because Carol Danvers is like military before she turns into Miss Marvel. Which, and once she does, she's just a strong woman. I'm not saying Bree's not a strong woman, but she doesn't come off as that.
Her character.
Yeah, her personality doesn't come off. And even in the stuff I've seen her acting, her strength isn't in, being that type of person. It is being that more, relatable type of woman than just this fantastic like Emily Blunt, where you're like, okay, I'm not sure if she's human or not. So I have to sweep that. And I don't like Miss Marvel that much. I think, if you don't know, so in X-Men, the comics, Rogue gets her power. So the Rogue, from the TV show where she can fly and she's super strong, all that. She takes the powers of Miss Marvel as Miss Marvel dies. And I think Rogue is a better Miss Marvel than actual Miss Marvel. So I just don't like that character that much. She stole Shazam's name, and I don't see Brie fitting that. And it was weird because I read a report about the other two actresses that were in the running, and they have done like nothing, like no actual real movies. And they both had directing credits on a lot of small stuff, which is weird. But I was just like these were no names. So
you gotta wonder what goes on in the casting room in LA sometimes.
Yeah, and they've been casting it for a while. So I don't know. I just don't see Brie Larson as a.
Well, I was thinking in terms of her not having that strong lead character in her. I think that could potentially work because it could be a big payoff. Like, she started here before she got her powers and stuff, and then here she is now with her powers. So she could be a totally different person before her powers and after. And that would change up kind of the Source character a little bit. But I think it could pay off potentially. So.
Okay. Don't care what you think. All right, so next up, The Flash lost Seth Grahame-Smith. There's so many conflicting rumors on if he left or if he got fired, but he left. So The Flash movie just picked up their new director, Rick Famuyiwa, who is the director of the recent independent movie, Dope, which was dope. And he also directed some movies back in the day, but he's kind of been off the grid for a while. So Sal thought he was Asian, found out he was black. So Sal, what do you think?
I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable.
I don't like change.
No, that's the big change. No. What was I trying to say? So I think what DC's trying to do with this Flash movie is keep it fun, keep it fast moving. No pun intended. So I think. I've only seen Dope. I think that's by him. So, but if I can kind of compare those two, it was a fun, fast-moving movie. So if it's anything like that, I'm gonna enjoy it, and I'm not worried about it. Not yet. It doesn't come out until 18. So we'll see the moving forward in the next couple years.
All right.
That's all I have to say. There's not much to go off of. I'm excited. I like Dope. So
I have a lot to go off of. I think this is a interesting pick in a lot of ways. So first off, when Seth Grahame got fired, they reports were conflict of interest, all that stuff. But this came right along the time of the executive switch around. They were like, we're gonna change the way we're doing our movies, and DC, we want proven directors. And so while I didn't know he was black either. Honestly, I must be thinking of a different movie. I thought it was some young actor that did Dope. I mean, director, but it wasn't. But anyway, so at first I'm like, wow, they got a brand new director that's only done one movie. Then I look back and he he did a lot of black movies that you black people probably know. He did The Wood and Brown Sugar and all that, but those were like a while ago. And so I'm like, okay, he's done movies, none to this scale, but he's not fresh, but he's not really like the type of director I thought WB was talking about. So that was interesting. But then, like you said, the stuff he's done is all this coming of age. Like really, The Wood and Dope was the same thing. It was like all about coming of age and finding out who you were and all that.
Like Flash.
But going all the way back to when we were speculating in DCU and comments by Deborah Snyder, it sounded like the Flash was set up to be a present day, like after Justice League, like out of world adventure into Apocalypse or back in time.
And he already does have his powers in that security footage. I mean, it looks like he's used to it. So
yeah, so I mean, at this point, it could change course and make it a prequel or origin story. But it's just like everything that happened, we talked about with the rumors of casting Captain Cold and Jay Garrick and all that. I'm like, this movie more and more is sounding like they've switched what they were originally going to do. Because I think the character himself was going to be light and bringing light into the DCU. But I felt like they were like, okay, yeah, even though he'll be funny, this movie as a whole needs to just be a different tone.
Yeah.
And so now instead of making it, oh, he's on Apocalypse, he's going back in time to talk to Bruce, this, that, with Cyborg, and we heard that. And it was like, okay, Flash Cyborg. They go to Apocalypse, boom, too, then they go back in time, and, they see Darkseid, all this stuff. Now it's like, yeah, let's just stay in Central City. Let's just look at the Flash fun adventures.
Keep it safe.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. But everything that's happening seems to be pointing in that direction, where it's going to be more like the TV show. Which is stupid, because they were like, we're separate, and the tones are different, and we can't have Grant Gustin. And it's like, okay, now you're trying to rip off the show. You might as well just got the show to come do the movie. But anyway, all right, so, lastly, Joe Quesada, who is the chief creative officer at Marvel Studios, which was the title that Jeff Johns used to have at DC. But anyway, basically his job is to preside over all the stories and screenplays of all the movies, and making sure that the portrayals aren't too disrespectful to the comics or anything. So I thought that was interesting, because I thought that was Kevin Feige's job. But anyway, he was doing an interview with Kevin Smith, Fat Man on Batman, and he was talking about Namor, and he basically was like, yeah, we got the rights back. He's like, Sony doesn't have it, Fox doesn't have it, it's back with us. He's like, whether or not he'll be showing up soon, I can't confirm or deny that. So, Sal, what do you think about?
I think we're gonna see a cutscene soon with some Namor in it. Not soon, but.
How you feel about him being back with Marvel?
That's exciting. I mean, he's not the biggest character, but I think he's a very I'm not necessary either. But yeah, he's at least a B-list kind of superhero in my eyes, at least. So them having him back just kind of opens up more doors for Marvel to kind of walk into and give us. But I feel like with Marvel, it's always the B-listers that they're making big, besides like Captain America, maybe. Oh yeah, Captain America. I feel like he's their only A-list guy. So just adding another B-list kind of guy, B-list superhero, which is fine. I know he's like kind of an aquatic superhero, so might just be a rip-off of Aquaman.
I would say being nice, he's Aquaman.
Yeah.
He's Aquaman. Iron Man is Batman. Green Arrow's Hawkeye. Like Darkseid's Thanos. But he's Aquaman. He's the Marvel version of Aquaman. And I don't care that much. I mean, not because of him. It's just I don't see it happening soon. Their slate is already pretty, is what it is, and it's full. So the only time I see him coming in is some type of crossover or cameo. I don't see him having his own movie or anything. And I would almost say do a Netflix series, and because they're doing big over there. But being underwater would probably take more money. I mean, I think Netflix, they have the money for the Netflix, but the less they spend, the more time they put into details.
Yeah.
So that's why Daredevil and Jessica Jones, I think, so good, because it's not that much special effects, and so they can spend that money on other stuff. So, yeah, I think he'll cross over at some point, but I don't think he'll be big in their plans, because otherwise we got Namor. They barely talked about it. So
yeah. It's like if they need him, if they want him, they have him.
Right. But I agree. Expands the universe, gives you more opportunities, maybe in the next phase or whatever. So now you can take this into the sea. All right, so that is the show for today. If you like what you heard, please subscribe. Please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button below. Sal, where can people find us?
Find us on Twitter at The Canon Vlog or on Facebook, facebook.com/The Canon.
And remember, if you heard it here today, it is canon. And if I was doing a SmackDown of the Week, it would be for you, Jennifer Lawrence. I'm calling you on your bluff. You do not want to do more X-Men movies. Not even a little bit.